It's Vampire Month once again, and we are on the 4th book of Vampire Academy. I don't even know how we got here.
This book is a lot different than the first 3 books in that it completely breaks with what's come before.
It's the 7th Harry Potter book, or the 4th Magisterium book. It's the one that says, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, now we've got to take the story elsewhere.
A lot went down in book 3. Things that really threw things for a loop, like Rose deciding to leave school and Lissa behind in order to hunt Strigoi.
Well, one specific Strigoi, her former teacher, lover, and proclaimed soulmate, Dimitri.
If you have forgot, or you haven't been reading the series, the big drama at the end of last book was that during a daring rescue, Dimitri was turned Strigoi and Rose vows to put him out of his misery.
Dimitri has gone to ground in Russia, and I have one important question. How did he get to Russia? I mean, can a Strigoi just get on a plane? Wouldn't the whole daylight thing cause a problem for them when the person sitting beside them lifts the sunshade?
Maybe he got a red eye, you know, because Strigoi, they have red eyes. No, just me. Okay, fine. We will move on, just like Richelle Mead did.
Russia, land of vodka, outdated electro music, and communism, as Rose sees it anyways. She suspects that Dimitri would head back to his hometown, and after a few minor mishaps, she manages to get there.
Along the way, Rose meets an alchemist named Sydney. Alchemists are a whole new dimension to their vampire world. They're humans who've agreed to help the vamps keep their existence under wraps in exchange for longevity and good health.
They also clean up after the Morai and Dampiers disposing of Strigoi bodies. Rose quickly learns, though, that Sydney and the rest of the alchemists don't really like vampires and are super religious.
Rose and Sydney manage to get along okay, considering that Sydney thinks all vampires are unholy demons, and Sydney escorts Rose to Dimitri's hometown.
Along the way, we also meet a dangerous Morai businessman slash crime boss named Abe, but nicknamed Zame after a mythical type of snake. Abe creeps Rose out, but he claims that he's been hired to make sure that Rose returns to the US.
And there is obviously a lot more to him than Mead lets on at first, and if you're good at guessing plot twists, you'll know exactly who he is the second you meet him.
Rose meets Dimitri's family and is quietly shocked that his hometown is not filled with blood whores as she so willingly believed all those years, because, oh my god, she's still on that blood whore thing.
Rose is welcomed by Dimitri's family, and none of them are blood whores. And when she breaks it to them that Dimitri is Strigoi, she is treated by the town like she is his widow. Dimitri's family practically adopts her.
But as much as she likes them, Rose knows that she can't stay, and eventually she gets word out through a Strigoi network that she's looking for Dimitri, and he comes for her.
Rose is kidnapped by him and is held prisoner until she agrees to be turned. And that's where we're gonna leave you, because it's all spoilers from here out, and check out our spoiler review if you want to find out how the book ends.
What we will say though is it's a pretty interesting second half, and I really like the climactic action. It's, well, action-packed.
There is a B-plot where Lissa has a new friend named Avery who has begun to support and seduce Adrian, but Avery's guardian and brother are a little weird and aggressive.
Rose watches through Lissa's eyes as she starts to slowly spin out of control, party crazily, and get into trouble. It's out of character for Lissa, and it isn't because of the darkness that Spirit creates. Rose has to figure out a way to help Lissa before something bad goes down.
I hope that all these new characters added come back as big players in the next book. They added some much needed freshness to the story and are just generally interesting.
The change of scenery was a great move on Mead's part. She could have easily set the story back at the academy, but she decided to move it elsewhere. It pushes Rose out of her comfort zone and gives us an opportunity to see more of her world building.
Rose is still harping about blood whores, and by the end of the book, she's still judgmental, but funny enough, Blood Promise adds a new dimension to it. I wonder if it'll change her attitude in the next novel.
We also get to learn more about Strigoi through talking with Dimitri. This could be a big help to our protagonist, since Rose now has a better understanding of exactly how the Strigoi think and what they want.
Rose desperately wants to find a way to save Dimitri, even though she says she believes that once someone has turned Strigoi, there's no turning back. She has to work on her mental game in this book, which is something she's never had to deal with before.
We were happy in the last book that Rose was pushing for more independence and being taken for granted less. But in this book, she kind of does a circle back. Like in The Wizard of Oz, she concludes that there's no place like home. I'm not sure if this is a step back in her character growth or not, but since all her secrets are out with Lissa, there is still a chance for progress.
Also, Lissa seems to really be changing it up in the vampire hierarchy, so she has new goals in place to work towards. Yay! Progress!
Overall, Blood Promise ranks on par with the other books in the series. Surprisingly good. The book is slow-paced to start with, but it picks up more and more until the end with lots of action.
It's a fun and easy read, and like always, when you're done, you're happy and you want the next one. We have 2 more books in the series, so we'll save our predictions for the rest of the series for our spoilers review.
If you haven't checked out Vampire Academy yet, we think you'd like it. Thanks for watching our review, guys, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our reviews, please take a second to subscribe. It would really help us out.
Happy Vampire Month, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.